All right, you guys. So today is January, February, March, April. It's April 5th, 2026. I had to count it on my fingers. It's crazy. I'm a grown man, but it is what it is. Y'all ain't gonna judge me. You know what I'm saying? Happy Resurrection Sunday, you guys. We are still locked in and intentional, right? Uh I'm grateful to have everybody here on the call. We just had Arm do a run through. We should have recorded that just as well. We'll have to do it again, but we just had Arm do a run through, a review of some of these current, some of these pairs already. We took a look at NAS, took a look at US 30. We did a brief review of US oil just as well. You guys know how I like to start off the calls, and I apologize if I'm talking quickly. You guys let me know if I need to slow down. I do plan to get through this call pretty quickly today, just so that you guys can get back to your families, you know what I'm saying? Get back to just relaxing, spending time. Um, of course, you guys, every week we start in the same place. I like to do just a quick review of the Forex Factory, so that we have an idea of what news is coming out, right? On Sunday, very, very strange, Sunday, which is also a holiday, it is Easter Sunday, they had OPEC, JMMC meetings today, all day long today. I think that that is kind of strange, right? Um, OPEC meetings are attended by representatives from the 12 OPEC meeting members and 11 other oil-rich nations. So this is an emergency meeting, you guys, off the rip. This is the first thing for us to understand. This is like they say that this is a bi-monthly meeting, but I'm sure that they're discussing what's going on in Iran right now and the threats that Trump is making. Trump is making some crazy threats about taking down the grid in Iran, bombing bridges, you know what I'm saying, and their power grid. That is going to cause some continued buy side on oil, on US oil, right? I originally last week we started to look at the buys. I didn't take any buys on it, but we can see how price actually ended up selling briefly below 96, right? Prior to this entire conflict, we were trading, above or below like 95, right? We were trading below, like I believe even below um like 80, somewhere in here, early March. We were trading uh all the way down in here, right? I believe that this is when the conflict began. There's a gap down here that I'm curious about, but we can see that oil has been aggressively buying. These are aggressive buys. We have our highs in here that are likely to get breached, right? We are likely to clear these highs. Prior to that, it might seem like we get some, maybe some relief, a little relief rally. If we do not get excited because price could trade back to mitigate these imbalances, and then we can see higher prices on oil. I do not believe that oh, look, Arm, look at the level that I have marked. We have the same level marked on our oil chart just as well. We were both aiming for these previous highs at about 130. Me and Arm, I guess we do have a pretty clear consensus that that is
Yes,
what we
sir.
will be targeting, what we will be looking at. We'll be looking at the 130 level as a target on oil off rip, right? What we're going to do automatically, and this is not normally how I did it, do my call. I normally will go through the whole calendar, but it was actually pretty strange to me that we had news, or red folder news on a Sunday. That's a bit peculiar to me, right? While everybody in the US is over here and we are celebrating, Resurrection Sunday or Easter Sunday, they're having meetings about what the heck is going on with the news, with the oil across the globe. Um, I would anticipate a pullback, right? I would anticipate a pullback on oil. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set an alert for about 102.5, right? Right in here. And the alert that we're going to set is going to say crossing 102.5. The message is going to be potential buy side. One thing that I want you to understand, you guys, I'm very intentional with my conversation, especially when I'm talking to myself, right? I write the words potential because I might even put that up just a little bit further. Maybe I go to 104, maybe 105, and just so that it doesn't like trigger and then I miss it, maybe like 104, potential buy side, right? Very intentional with the way that I talk to myself. In the market, this is a game, a sport of probability, right? Even though I'm looking for this, I'm not going to just, jump the gun and get overly excited. Oh, it pulled back to my structure. Let me immediately jump in the market. No, I write potential buy side. So when the alert is triggered, I want to go ahead and I want to take a peek at the market and see if everything is aligned, right? So what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at this bullish engulfing candle, right? This bullish engulfing candle is showing us the direction that we're trading in. This imbalance is an area that will be mitigated most likely, meaning that price is going to make a move to balance out the market before we take our next leg higher. What that does for us is it creates an opportunity to where we now have a 1 to 5, almost a 1 to 6 risk to reward trade setup. That's a beautiful thing, right? If I were to go ahead and say, oh, yeah, look, I'm looking to buy right now, or I think the market's going to continue to buy, oil is going to get more expensive. We're looking at a 1 to 1. That's not a trade that I would like to take. So this is one of the first opportunities that I'm going to be focused on for this week here, right? We're going to look to execute on our first position probably at about the 104 area here. Let's go ahead and um, take a screenshot of that. We'll download the image and then we will share that with the community, right? Um, Potential setup, and I'm going to speak very intentionally here just as well. So ARM, even as I go and I share the idea, I want to make sure that I can distinguish between, or that I, distinguish between whether I'm entering now or what am I looking for. Potential buy side on US oil, or this is WTI crude oil on, is that US oil? Let me see. Let me make sure I got the right ticker. Yeah, on US oil. On US oil, waiting for the pullback, and then we will target the highs. First alert set for 104, right? Awesome. We send that out. So ARM, you can kind of see how I went and said that. So nobody's going to jump the gun. They know that we're waiting for the pullback before we enter into that market. So let's keep it going. That's quite a significant pullback as well, but we can see that the market is already rejecting. We're going to be using the candle that gives us that buy side move, that bullish engulfing candle. That's also going to be what gives us our stop loss just as well, right? So that's also going to give us our stop loss just as well. As we continue forward on Forex Factory, coming to tomorrow, we have some PMI news for the dollar, right? So there's news at 9 a.m. That is very important, right? We want to take note of that. This is Central Time just as well, I believe. Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure that I have it set on Central Time. Right, Arm? This is Central, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent, cool vibes. But with that being said, you guys, there's also some additional there's also some additional news for us to be wary of, right? We're not just going to, we can't just pay attention at this point in time to the news that's on the calendar when we have a president like Donald Trump that announces news on social media. What a crazy time to be alive, yo. Um, on his Truth Social today, what this man said, absolute madness. He shoots a lot, actually. Lord have mercy. I'd never actually look at his Truth Social, but we see this is what Donald Trump said on Easter Sunday. Let's take a moment to just realize how mad this is. Insanity to me. Tuesday will be power plant day, and Bridge Day all wrapped up into one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the strait. You or you will be living in hell. Just watch. That man said, "Praise be to this man is out of his mind, out of his mind." Maybe he said Allah. Maybe he said Allah because that's who they worship. That's like maybe people look at that as disrespectful. People probably that seems like really disrespectful to me, bro. Like I would feel like, yo, tensions are rising. If you're talking
Yeah,
about
that gets crazy.
you're about to bomb our people and you're praising our God, like, yo, that's not no calm energy, nothing, bruh. It's not no calm energy news whatsoever. That's very, very hostile, very aggressive. We want to pay attention to that, right? So think about this. We have the actual USD news being released on Monday, right? But then he's saying that on Tuesday, he's going to move the market. He's going to be the one to control the direction of the market, right? On Monday, let me see, what is this? We have rescued, we're not going to read that. He said that we rescued one of our servicemen. Thank God. That's a beautiful thing. Fantastic, whatever the case may be. But that Tuesday news is something to be aware of. It is going to get very crazy. We do have potential opportunities to maybe enter the market tomorrow and be positioned before the news releases. So let's go ahead. We'll keep on going. So that's the off the calendar news. Monday we have some PMI news, so we'll see how that flows. And then Tuesday we have some NZD news, some red folder NZD news, some orange folder USD news. So we'll take a look at the NZD just as well. FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday, and then we have some GDP and PCE news on Thursday. And then finally, we have our CPI news on Friday. CPI news that's going to be the biggest mover for me, right? This is going to be where my focus is going to be. It's my favorite trading day of the entire month. I love CPI news. It typically is one straight number, and oftentimes you get one candle that's going to take you from where the market is to where the market's going to go. So, with all that being said, we know we have CPI news on Friday. We got FOMC news on Wednesday. FOMC is going to be a conversation. I typically will not trade during FOMC. What this is going to be, if it's more hawkish than expected, that's good for the currency, happens 8 times per year. This is going to be one to where I observe. I probably will not be actively trying to find entries during FOMC. This is the type of news to where you let it kind of, me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but I let it flow and then I go. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to enter after we see the madness. Even FOMC, as well as this final GDP and PCE, um, I believe that that is going to show us where the market is going to go. And then when CPI news comes out on Friday, it's highly likely that the market is already going to be sitting within a maybe a supply or a demand zone that it will use to propel it to the next level that it has to go to, is typically how the market will flow. Friday is also what we consider to be like our bank day, where the larger institutions they enter the market in order to prepare themselves for the following week, right? Whether they're closing out their books or closing out their orders, or whether they are, adding new positions, right? So we got a little bit of a mixy week. It's not really the most news intensive week. Some of the things for us to focus on will be the PMI news tomorrow, and then we'll see how the NZD moves on Tuesday, and then we'll really be looking for Friday's news. So this is going to be one of those weeks. Is my camera not even on? So this is going to be one of those weeks to where we are simply going to be looking for, we're going to be patient and we're going to be waiting for the trades to come to us. The most the biggest things that I'm looking for right now are going to be on US oil. We already have our targets or our indicators set with our targets. This is a 1 to 5, almost a 1 to 6. We'll take a look at the US dollar. Obviously, you guys know I always love to trade the US dollar. What I want to bring to your attention is the fact that the dollar is currently trading right above our psychological level. We're trading above our $100 psychological level. The market will oftentimes be attracted to that level. We can see that there has been this entire area where we have tested it and we are now consolidating within a range here. What we want to see is we want to see how does the market respond to this range. And what I'm telling you guys is that all signs to me currently point to the buy side. And I'll tell you the reason why. If we look at this on the, it's because ARM said so. That's why. Because my guy said that's what it's gonna do. So that's what I see. He's looking at this from the higher time frames, you know what I'm saying? But in all reality, you guys, if you can see right now on a 4 hour perspective, we are trading within a consolidating market. So we'll talk about, Nay, when we get into our boot camp, we'll talk about the different market cycles, right? Whether we're in a trending market, whether we're in a downtrending market, or whether we're in like a buy side, sell side, or a consolidating market. This market has been ranging, right? You can see that we broke into here, now we're making highs, then we're testing the lows, making highs, testing the lows, making the highs, testing the lows, touching the highs, testing the lows, touching the highs, breaking the lows. We're eventually going to be looking for a break of this range, right? To the buy side or to the sell side. We're going to be looking for a breakout of this range for price to pull back to one of these two levels. For me personally, the fact that we have these equal highs in here, these become targets to me, right? These are targets to me. I believe that eventually we make a move to take out these highs, right? It's also possible that before we take the highs, we end up pulling back to structure, right? It's possible that we can trade back to this order block or to the bottom of the range. If you look to the left, you can see where we have these wicks in here just as well. You can see we've tested structure here. You can also see that we've come back and we've tested structure here. This makes this this is an area of importance, right? This is going to attract my eyes. Not only do I have these touches in this structure here, but I also have this order block to where we have our bullish engulfing candle that takes us back to the top of this range. We get that bearish candle, and then we get the big bullish candle that actually brings us higher, right? It's possible that we pull back, and then once we pull back to here, we end up taking our buy side from here, and we see a significant buy side move on the dollar, right? That is one possibility. It's also possible that the market does not pull back to there. This is wartime, you guys. The market does not have to, some of these areas where we talk about imbalances, and not every area is going to be filled. You can see similar to that exact same pattern that I just discussed here, buy side, sell side, buy side. We've got something very similar here just as well, buy side, sell side, buy side, that takes us into this higher level of structure. Once we come to this point, you can see how the market goes and retest this level, and then we make our buy, right? It's very possible. He said he's entering USD CHF. Fantastic. You can drop that in the group. It's very possible that we get a pullback to this structure here, right? And then we get our buys from there, right? So me, I will probably be waiting to enter any trades for myself until potentially New York session. But this is what I would anticipate, right? I would anticipate the pullback and then the buy side. You could also, if you entered here, guess what? You still have a 1 to 3, right? You still got a 1 to 3 as we end up sweeping these highs and trading back into this higher market structure. So there's no problem with entering the trade here. We're going to be looking to see this market go and retest the previous highs, right? Which our previous highs are going to be in here, right? We could expect for price to trade back to this structure here. So even from an entry right where we are right now, this gives us a beautiful 1 to 3.65. That is a phenomenal trade. Phenomenal trade. I'm going to be patient and I'm just going to wait. If price pulls back, a bit further, I would be looking to enter maybe right about here. So I'm going to go ahead and set my alert again, and it'll be 100.15 um um potential potential buy side on the dollar, right? And I'll look to enter this, see if we can get an entry, tomorrow, or when the news releases, right? It could be a news release that sends us to the downside, right? Which we do have a scheduled news release for tomorrow at 9 a.m. So I'm going to be looking at 9 a.m. to see if we get the pullback right here. If we do get this pullback and price maintains above this structure, you can see we're only risking about 20 points, 20 pips on this trade here, the dollar index in itself. This would be my first opportunity. If this fails, because it's a possibility that it fails. If it fails, I would look to take another buy side position down here. It'll give us an even bigger risk to reward, or I should say, an even better risk to reward. My stop loss would go below this trade. And it helps me to do this in taking two trades. You can see that I'm risking 20 pips here, 27 pips here, as opposed to me risking, 66 pips on one position, right? So it doesn't matter if I win or lose. I'm looking to get into my trade. The only way that, something may not work is if price just goes straight up from here and there is no pullback, then I might just essentially miss the trade. And guess what, guys? That's okay as long as we're following our rules. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we move on, right? We move on to USD CAD, which is one of the USD pairs. USD CAD is looking extremely, extremely bullish. We caught a beautiful setup on last week on USD CAD. I believe that we risked like 35 pips on this trade initially, and then to 1.3975. Let me go ahead and confirm that that is where we took our sells on USD CAD. You guys, let's walk with me just very quickly, see if I can figure out where that USD CAD sell side was taken. And we ended up oh, look, we smashed it, guys. We dominated USD CAD just last week. It was this setup right here. Let's see. That was not the original. Where's the original? USD CAD sells. So this was the USD CAD sells 1.393, 1.3975, and then we got a compound. So this was the first move, right? Stop loss at 1.3975, and then we got a compound position at 1.3895. The result of that trade was that we were able to close out 65 pips and 25 pips. And immediately after, guess what? The reason why we closed out that trade is because the ARM started to call the sell side. So you can see that we got eyes on the market, you guys. Immediately after this, I went and I tightened my stop loss. I made it a little bit tighter. I moved my stop loss to 1.3957 or 55. Took, another 20 pips off the table. We got a compound position with our take profit right here. We literally, guys, almost came directly to our TP, right? Literally traded to the lows. It never made it to the lows, but guess what? We got eyes on the market. One of our guys, even Clemente actually influenced my decision to exit this trade as well because he called the buys on Euro NZD, which will typically trade in alignment with the dollar. Um, and we actually saw that we secured our profits and then we saw the market shoot up after that. So these were both wins, right? This market right now is looking extremely, extremely bullish on USD CAD. I'm very cautious though, because the Canadian dollar is impacted by the oil news that we are seeing in the Middle East, right? And it's a possibility that there is like a tug of war that happens right here. Possible that we go and we sweep these lows, we mitigate this imbalance. I think that's exactly what we just said on the dollar. I think that the CAD is actually lining up that way just as well. And we would be looking to enter our trade off of this pullback if it does come. If it does not come, I will be perfectly fine with missing this trade. This is a 15 pip trade, right? Um, I'm going to set my alert 1.39. We'll put it at 3.5, right? And again, potential buy side. Again, you guys, very intentional with my wording. You'll see that I'll say potential buy side because we can potentially test here, right? But, on other notes, I may say high probability buy side, right? Maybe we go ahead and I don't know if this would be high probability, but there's a possibility that we actually do trade back to our take profit one, that we end up actually trading back to this take profit one, that we come and we make a move to sweep these lows, and now we trade back to this structure that was never tested. We have an imbalance here that has not been mitigated. Guess what? You saw how I was like, oh, I'll take a dollar buy here, and if that doesn't work, I'll take a dollar buy there. USD CAD is a little bit further, right? I would take a dollar buy there, but then the next time that I would take a dollar buy or a USD CAD buy would not be until all the way down here. I will just sit out the market and I'll wait. I have no problem with waiting, right? I want the best opportunities, and this is where I would find the best opportunities, right? So we'll see if price trades back down to here, 1.387. Setting alerts. This is why you got to have your trading view 1.387 because I can set as many alerts as I want. High probability, high potential. Oh, they put my poster out. Oh Lord. Ooh, buy side. I gotta look at that. Huh. Makes me nervous. Oh, you guys, I'll share with you guys in a little bit. I have a product release tomorrow just as well. See, look, this USD CHF, I kind of don't like it, if I'm being real with you. I don't like this right now. Not really. I don't really like it. I don't know if you would say that this is a shoulder, this is a head, and this is another shoulder, right shoulder. But I see all of this structure down here as potential. I would look for price to sweep these lows right here, right? Cause some buy side, or excuse me, cause the buyers to panic a little bit. And I would be looking to take buys on USD CHF from this level right here. So I do like the buys. I just don't like them from where they are right now. Um, this to me is a little bit concerning. It's almost as though we created the downside, we swept all these lows, and then price is trading back. I would probably pull out my fibs and I would probably place it from high to low, and I would see if we're at the 78.6, which is exactly where we look like we're trading at, right? Um, I would be cautious here and see how is the market moving around that structure. So I'm a little cautious there on the higher time frames. It does look like we are testing the highs, but I could anticipate some rejection from this level here. This wick, though, I will tell you though, this wick here, we will eventually blow through this. This is not going to be what sends us to the downside. This wick is not going to be what I believe sends us to, the lows. You know what I'm saying? I believe that that ends up becoming a target for us, and price actually ends up trading higher. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, we also have some equal lows here. It's possible that we get a pullback, right? I don't know where we pull back to. I don't know what's going to happen. However, I don't really like that buy side at this current price. Um, I would be a little cautious, right? I'm not going to take a trade at all. That's a 1 to 2. That's not for me. I would need that 1 to 3, but I do anticipate that we can get in. I could try to be a slick guy and do some like this. use maybe this previous wick and then trade back to previous structure, get the 1 to 3, but that would be forced because everything that I'm saying is I believe that we're going to take buy side. And if I believe that we're going to take buy side, my guy Arm is like, he's going to be on my, you know what I'm saying? We're going to start to minimize some of these counter trend trades, especially during, but it also does look like this could be a potential head and shoulders. What do you think, Arm? I don't know. Maybe on a higher time frame, 4 hours. That's ugly. Never mind. I think that we will shoot. I don't know. I don't like the buy side. USD CHF is not my ideal setup right now. Um,
Now
cause
we
I
still need that retest for sure. We
yeah, cause
still
I
need that retest for sure.
cause I see this. I see this as a target, but then
The only
this,
reason, sorry to cut
yes.
you off, but the
Nah,
only
you
reason I
you got
was
it.
saying that I was potentially about to get in because I was seeing the little push on the lower time frame on the 30-minute and 15-minute. So I was expecting price to
I
maybe
see this on
close
the 30 minute
above.
here.
Yeah, so if price if closed above and reaches and then gave me that bullish engulfing, I would have entered.
Yeah, this actually looks like a pullback right here on the 30-minute time frame. It looks like we tested and we haven't tested up here yet though. But it
Yeah,
looks
so
like we traded here and we rejected and then we created this, we tested here and then we traded away from it. So I surely can see that on the 30-minute time frame that we have some buy side. But I just
not
like
yet.
that creates a conflict in my mind. And rather than me battling with myself, I'm just going to go through and look for the cleanest possible. But look at USD CAD. It looks like it could still push. I just want to see the cleanest possible setups right now,
Hey,
right?
I didn't send my USD CAD setup, but I'm still looking for buys too on USD CAD.
Beautiful. I love it. We got structure right here, right? Y'all see that automatically. That's the first place that my eyes are alerted to. This
Ooh,
little this
30,
little correction here. Is it moving? 30
bro.
is we're up about 13 points. We swept these highs or swept these lows right here. Price traded down, and then we get this big bullish push here. I'm curious about this. I'm curious about this because this looks like our buys are here. We don't create any significant higher lows or higher highs. We do create a maybe a higher high right here, right? But we don't break the highs right here. So this is an ugly price action for me. It's very possible that we trade back into this range, and then this is the retest that sends us lower to our next level, and we look to take buys from here. This could be the pullback of this sell side move, right? Maybe we sold here, price buys, and then this is the sell that takes us to our 675. If this market were to buy above right here, though, right? Um, this is where I would be kind of curious about maybe testing right here. I don't personally like this at all. It's not my ideal opportunity. But what I would say is that this has been an overall since November, right? We can say that this has been an overall buy side move. And now this market may have gone into consolidation, that's sideways motion. We created a higher high here. That's very important. And now we've traded back to the lows. We've created a low that tests structure, this previous hesitation move. This is a little hezzy. We go, we hit resistance, fall. We hit resistance, fall. We hit resistance, bearish candle, bearish engulfing candle, matter of fact. This is a bearish engulfing candle right here, guys. Very important. It's also important to know the time frames that we're trading on. This is on the 4 hour time frame. So we stayed below this level 1, 2, 3, 4. That is how many? 16 hours that we stayed below this level. This area is very important. The way that we react to this level is very important. Price buying here, selling back to structure. Guess what I might want to do? I might want to go ahead and pull out my fibs again, see if we pull from high to low, see if we're at the 61.8, right? We're trading right at our 61.8 Fibonacci retracement level. This is to me a sneaky potential buy side move, which guess what? That supports my potential sells on the dollar that lead to the buys. So this may be a buy side move on a shorter time frame. It might not be the long-term move. We might just be retracing. I don't see any structure that's broken that we're retesting though. That's the only thing that I'm very curious about. That's a concern to me. That's a concern to me because off of the 61.8, we can go to the 27, we can go up to here, trade all the way back into this. And if we look at it, this is actually the longer time frame trend. This is the buy side move on the 4 hour time frame. This could just be a sell side to retest here. But I'm not quite sure of how to move there. So guess what? There's no alert being set for me on AUD USD at this point in time. I'll monitor it throughout the week. What are your thoughts, Arm?
AUD/USD. Oh,
I
hold
just
on.
I just saw that you were
Yeah.
I saw that I thought that you unmuted yourself. I thought that you had
Nah, my
that.
bad.
No, you're good.
So AUD/USD, I'm waiting for. Let me see. You got it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we exactly got the same level. That's crazy. I love that. So that 0.68827 level that you got right there.
68827. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I do have one area of interest around there.
Okay, cool.
So I'm literally waiting for that break and retest.
Yes, sir. We'll be patient on that one. I'm not convinced of anything on AUD USD at this moment in time
Yeah,
yet.
right now, no. Now,
NZD USD, we had our downside move. This is more clean to me. You guys see, I actually did look to take NZD, or maybe I just marked this up. I don't think I took an NZD USD trade last week. I
took me
can't,
out.
I don't think so.
It's
But
crazy.
we had our buy side move. We have a big break that actually took us higher. Here's the concern though. We tested structure. We're creating these equal highs that can potentially be targets. However, we reject from here, we trade back into here, and then price sells lower. This is broken to me just as well. I'm not convinced on, but look where we're trading at. We're back in structure here. So that is something for us to be aware of. Look at this blue line. This, you can see how I've been taking L's on it too. These don't even have to be L's if you like are managing it, but this was 40 pips. That's a TP1. This is definitely a one trade. This is closer to 60 pips in profit. I surely took profits on this one, just as well, right? But now, and then we had this one, we had this big sell, and I expected that price was going to pull back. I actually believe that I took a buy side in here, and I did lose this trade at one point right here. I believe it was, where was it? Somewhere in here. I took a trade on NZD trying to buy it, and I took a loss. And then here again. But look, now look where we're trading at. You see this previous structure here? This is an area of interest for me. We've traded back to this structure right here. You see that little hezzy, big bullish engulfing, sell side move, buy side, and then we create that imbalance that we now are trading away from. It's very possible that we use, look how we're reacting to it too. I don't like those wicks like that though, but look how we're reacting to it too. We touch that level perfectly and the market just pivots there. Market just pivots, right? Um, I see some imbalances up here. I don't like this either. I'm not convinced. I don't like this. You see,
Yeah.
NZD is one of my babies. You feel me? Like this is one of my pairs right here. We done been trading NZD for a long time. We've been smacking the markets, but I'm not convinced. Not yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see the right now.
I don't like it. GBP USD, we
I'm
have
looking, I'm
our,
liking that one right now.
yeah,
I'm
we got our
actually
big
looking
buy
at it on the
side.
phone.
You like the sells?
Yeah, I just need a break and retest from my area. Right now, we're consolidating on my weekly area of interest. So I just
I
need a
don't
break and retest.
I like it as well. I like the sells here. So we took the buys on GBP USD. The thing that bothers me is that on the buys, my alert never got triggered, right? Because I had potential sell side. I wanted us to sell from here, but markets rejected. They rejected, price sold, and we ended up trading back into this structure here. creating a lower high right here, right? This lower high here sends us to the lower levels. And then this is an ugly ass price action. This to me there's no signs of any kind of a reversal here. This to me looks like we are likely to continue selling off for at least another 80 pips or so, from where we are here, probably down into this previous structure. We might get like a little bit of a pullback here just as well. Maybe we pull back right to here, and then we get continued sells, right? That might be in alignment with the buy side that I'm expecting on the dollar. Maybe we end up looking like, I'm going to delete this for now so there's no confusion, but maybe we end up getting our short positions here, and then we have our stop loss above this high here, and we end up looking to take our trade down here. We have a 1 to 4, 1 to 5 almost risk to reward trade. I like this a lot better than the NZDs and the AUDs. So we'll set an alert here just as well on GBP at 1.3220. You know what's funny? I think that was my target last week.
For real?
1.32, 1.3220, potential sell side. I actually think that's a higher probability sell side, actually.
Right
Um,
now, I'll be honest with you, GU right now, after analyzing all of the markets and what they're doing right now, GU, well, USD CHF is in profit. Shit.
it's
Well,
moving. It's buying
yeah, but still, I don't like the fact that we didn't get the retest. It's not
on
convincing me.
USD, on USD
On,
CHF.
yeah, because I know we need the retest, especially on that 1 hour time frame.
Yes,
We
sir.
need
This
that
looks,
retest.
what do you think
So,
about this? How do you like this retest of structure? Do you think this is a good pullback here?
let me see. Hold on. Where you at? My
It's only
bad.
30 pips. It's only like a little 30 pip pullback.
Nah, GBP USD. I'm liking it right now. I wish I could share my screen to show you, but I'm liking it right now because right now we're on my weekly area of interest, which is basically right there where price is at. If you go to the 1 hour, you can see a little consolidation. So that if you make a square around that, that's my weekly area of interest. And that consolidation right there, where
Right
price is
here.
at right now.
I
Yeah,
like it.
exactly. So right
I will
now I'm
enter
just
this
waiting on
one.
that break.
Yes, sir. This
I'm
will be a trade that I'll look to enter. I would want a little bit of wait. You're waiting for a break. Tell me about it. Talk to me. I
so I need
actually, I'll give it to you. I'm gonna run this call, but I will, if you want, I'll give you the sticks for just like 5 minutes so that you can share
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
GBP USD. Um,
Yeah.
Here you go.
Let
Let
me
me
just
know what
pull
you're
it up real
seeing
quick.
on good stretch.
Hold on, I cannot share yet. If you
Let me
can
see. Oh, I made the wrong one host. That's why.
okay, okay, cool.
I got you. Here we go. It's two of you.
Oh, okay, okay, bet. All right. So this is what I got on
Uh-huh.
GU.
Uh-huh.
You see left shoulder,
Uh-huh.
head, right
It's
shoulder.
crazy that I don't see those things like that, bro. I gotta
I got it
train my
right here.
eyes. Yeah.
And right here on the 4 hours, way clear. You see left
Hmm.
shoulder, head, right shoulder. So we just need basically this break right here, then a retest, and then let me
I
put my alarm a little bit lower right here.
I appreciate that. So that's gonna be like a sell stop, essentially, or you'll call the sells once we get to that level. And I'm looking if we have a little bit of a pullback, but we have a range that we're trading in right now. We
Yeah,
both
right
see the
now
sell side.
we're on this 1 hour. You see, this is my weekly area of interest.
Yes, sir.
If I go to the weekly right here,
A
you can see right there,
big
one,
old wick on
two,
the
three,
weekly.
4, 5, and then we got right here because this week, I mean, I made it smaller, but actually this weekly is like right here,
I
like all
like
the
it.
to this week right here.
All right.
So
We're in tune, you know what I'm saying? So we're in alignment on GBP USD. I like
yeah,
it. We'll
that's
see
pretty
what it
much
is.
it.
If it
And
if
then
it's Oh, I'm
that's
sorry.
it.
You
No,
you were
you're
gonna
good, you're
show?
good, you're good.
Oh, okay. I
I
cut it
was
as
just
soon
gonna
as you
show
said that was that's it.
no, I was just gonna well, real quick, if you can let me just real quick,
Yeah.
lastly,
Absolutely.
like
Here you go.
like
Um, Here you go.
Okay, yeah,
You
just
can share again. My apologies, bro. I didn't mean to steal that
no,
from you.
no, you're good, you're good, you're good. This I don't know if Wiz is here right now.
Yeah, he said he might have had to step away. I don't know if he came back, but we'll
Okay,
keep on. It'll be recorded.
so this is for Wheezy
Oh,
and
he's
that
here.
US 30.
Hmm.
Look at this US 30. We basically avoided a loss just for being patient,
That's
bro.
a fat loss
Th-
too. That it would have been. It would have been 100 points already.
You see,
140.
and just by being patient, bro, just by
Hmm.
being patient, you see, this is 155 basically.
Hmm.
Because what I was waiting for, this break and retest right here of this small area of interest, price went all the way back. So we have a loss avoided.
Yep. And you can see
Nah,
that that bullish engulfing candle that was sending us to the downside has just been taken out just as well.
exactly,
So yeah, we're
exactly.
definitely that market looked like it has shifted just a bit. But let's go ahead. We'll run it through and wrap up this call. Euro USD is pretty much a similar setup. I'm not looking at it yet. We just did break below structure here. You can see we have our lows, and now we just actually breached into this lower structure, and we have a retest here just as well. Possible continuation to the downside. I'll be careful on Euro USD. I'm not looking to enter it. I like GBP better. We can see that we do just about have that pullback on NAS 100. I'll go ahead and I do still kind of like that sell side. I don't know where to put my alert at though, because you could miss this one by a hair.
I'll
One
say I will put it right there where that body closes at
right, this body right here,
24.
right? 24 100.
Yeah.
You tell me where to put it. I'll put it where you say.
Put it on. Hold on, let me see the prices because
Y-
I can't.
yes, sir. Oh, you can't do it. You don't have a photographic memory. You can't do it off the top of your head. I'm just
But
messing.
I would say put it at 24 0, like around 0.85.
All right.
Yeah, I would say around 0.85 on the cool. Just to see that potential, you know.
Potential. If the market blasts off, that's why I say potential because, and that's why I'm also not trading it based off of a limit order either. I do like, if you see here, we have the sell side here, buy side, sell side. You know what area I like a lot? I like the gap. You see this little tiny gap. People don't see stuff like this,
Yeah.
but I like this little tiny gap that is right above that area here. This is my area of interest for price to trade right into the structure. You know what I'm saying? And if we were to come back into here about 24,
30.
120, yeah, 130, 120 between there, I would be willing to take that shot. You feel me? We'd only be risking 78 points, and it is a major opportunity, right? This ends up being a 1 to 16, just trading it back to the lows. At the lowest case, we would look to take partial profits here, which is literally 612 points. That is 6,000 pips, guys, right?
Yeah.
This is 12,000 pips to the low. That is a beautiful setup. I'm not going to look at anything else. We're looking for the pullback on oil, which we're already seeing. Remember, we started the call here. We're already seeing that pullback on oil. We'll run through the JPYs just very quickly. JPY basket, you can see that this market is beginning to curve a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I pay attention to these little these little curves, right? We're starting to do something like this, right? So it's possible that this market continues to stay within that range and we continue to curve on that JPY basket, highly probable, which would send all of these to the downside. I'm not
Yep.
very, I'm patient with the JPYs now because when we look at our list, we can see that it's a mixed bag. We have some pairs that are red, we got some that are green. The markets are all responding differently to the JPYs. So we have to trade them. We got to trade what we see, right? They're not all responding according to, how the JPY is moving. Different pairs are moving their own way. What we
Yeah.
can see is that there is a potential pullback. We can use the same block again, buy side, sell side, buy side. I like to highlight some of these areas here, right? We'll take that rectangle and we'll do something like that. And we might have an area of interest just right here to where we can see that structural retest. When we do that, you see what I did? I want you guys to pay attention to this because I'm not looking at current prices. I'm looking at the past prices. I'm highlighting the top of this box, the bottom of this box. When I do that and I start to look to the left, you can see that that retest comes in right at the top of that box, right? Easily to me, that starts to look like this is a buy side move that we may see. Um, on the JPY, very similar, exactly what ARM was calling from last week. That's I guess that's how it looks when you're on the weekly time frame. Maybe you see it, but it could take a couple days for it to
Yeah.
actually, transpire. Immediately we can see that we have some imbalances here, like we have that sell side move here, some sell side pressure. We would look at this as our target on the JPYs, right? Easily trading it back to here on the JPY basket. That is a beautiful 1 to 5. I like it a lot. We had a downtrend here. That downtrend is now being broken. Am I convinced? Is it my trade right now? Not necessarily. We haven't created any significant higher highs. We may look for price to trade above this previous structure right here, right? And once we break above here, um, I'll set the alert. This is at the 527, 5280, 5275, 5278. I'll say 5278. JPY officially creates, uh, JPY has created a 1H higher high, right? What
Uh,
does that mean to me? What's up, Arm? Talk to me, my guy.
As of now, I'm looking at all the USD markets. I'm looking at
Okay.
all the USD markets. As
All
of
right.
now, my top one market for the week, and that's the one I'm gonna be personally focused on, is gonna be GBP USD.
Hey, call it when you see it, my boy. We'll trust in that.
Yeah,
I do
because
see potential for maybe AUD to come and trade back to this structure right here. Just a
yeah,
little bit of a hair higher, right back into this structure, and then to target these wicks down here. You see this wick? You see how I don't like these wicks like that? Like
yeah.
I like real full body candle closures or they become targets. We can see a potential pullback on AUD, JPY into this structure here, right?
But you see, that's the thing. That's why I'm going, because I see all these like potential trades, like for example, USD CHF, AUD USD,
You got to pick your
um
three, my guy.
USD CAD. So I'm going for like GBP USD is my number one.
All
Okay.
right.
I see I'm still looking for that retest on USD CHF, and I am on sales for AUD USD, but
Okay.
I'm still waiting for those, retests on both of them. And then GBP USD, I need that break and that retest. But what I like about that GBP USD is that, well, first of all, what I like about the three I just talked about is that we literally had three higher time frames in
Look,
sync.
look. I don't even got a set no alert for CAD JPY this week. Look, look at that. It's already set from last week. It never got hit. So we're looking
Yeah.
at the same thing this week as we were last week. A pullback to maybe 115, 115.2. It's about 50 to 70 pips away. And then we see sell side. So the JPYs are looking like the sells are ready to continue. You can see we've been slaughtering freaking GJ. GJ has been doing exactly what GJ supposed to do. Let me see. Um, I'm not going to touch GJ for now, though. There's too much going on. I could anticipate price trading all the way back up here. That's the only thing I could see prices trading all the way back to here. I'm not looking at GJ this week. We have a big bullish engulfing. We create a higher high. Price pulls back. We test this structure. We mitigate all imbalances. We're trading within this range. Price is now trading higher. The only thing here is that we create a lower high right here, right? So this is showing as though price can just continue to the sell side. but this could also be what we call like a complex pullback to where we go and do all of this and then buy here and then sell. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not really my favorite kind of a price action, this ranging market, creating higher highs, excuse me, higher lows and lower highs. That could be like a bull flag, right? To where we start to see some, I mean, excuse me, a bear flag to where we start to see something like this start to form. And then the market goes and it gives us a breakout, maybe to this exact same structure right here. And then we end up getting the sells off of this. I just personally don't like it that much. So I'm not really going to be, I'm not a fan of GJ for this week. We can see that Euro JPY is already showing some weakness. It's already showing by sell side. It's not really showing that there's too much that we need to come back and retest. We do have a little bit of an imbalance here. I don't want to hold my breath for that. Um, that would be a complex pullback, and that would be right to the 185. So that is actually a solid level, 4.8. However, it's very far from where we are right now.
Yeah.
It's very far from where we are. I don't know how confident I feel that we actually trade to this range. You can see that that's where my previous target was, but we never made it there. And now we've been making lower lows. This price action is pretty ugly to me. I'd be patient and I'll just wait on it. NZD JPY is like, I'm gonna tell you where I'm going. We're going to the sell side. NZD JPY looks like it wants to go there early. I like this area right here, 91 point like 85.85 um potential sell side. So some of these targets, some of these triggers may not hit this week, right? Did I spell potential wrong? Potential. We're good. It may not hit this week. I'm not very interested in taking it right here. If I were to take it here, it's still a good, we got to put stop losses all the way above here and we're trading back to the lows. We can still see our 1 to 3, but now we're risking 74 pips. That's not for me, not my setup. I need to be 45 pips or below. 35 pips on average is what I would be looking for. And then lastly, you guys, this is our Euro NZD, which is looking absolutely beautiful. We've seen some major buy side, but at the same point, you guys, this is not always sustainable. Um, so we will be patient on this. I would be looking to, you could see I set an alert here. That alert never got hit either, right? I would be looking to see how do we react to this current level right here, right? How do we react to where we're trading from right now? Y'all can see my favorite little pattern here just again. We've got our buy side, sell side, buy side. We've got structure right here, right? And it's like that's where we create this little, I don't know if that's the head and shoulders, maybe this is a shoulder head and then a lower shoulder, potential. Um, do we reject this level? This is major structure that we're testing right here. Possible sell side all the way back down to the 61.8, into here. Even if we do maintain our buy side, right? We can definitely see a sell side play. So me, I'm kind of hands off it for right now, kind of hands off it for right now. Just waiting, just waiting, just waiting. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this was our NAS play. I did have it. So there was on my other NAS chart. This is the NAS trade that we took last week. We took it, yeah, we took it off of here, traded back into structure with a target right in, maybe right above these highs. We could see how price reacts to here. We could potentially turn back to, I don't know where we would, I don't know what's going on here. I'm honestly, you can see that we have our neckline here, right? We have our lows, our lows, our lows. Price broke the lows. Maybe likely that we trade as far as 24.8. That's where I had my target at. We don't want to trade above this guy right here. This is our highest point for now, right? Price needs to stay below this level, right? But we can trade as high as this level. This is another idea like when we talk about internal highs and lows. We can trade above here and still be in the downtrend, right? This doesn't mean that the downtrend on the higher time frames have been, broken, right? We're literally trading back to this structure. So 24.80 is what we'll be looking at for the week. 24, which is a far from where we are. 24.750. Um, Potential sells on NAS, and I am looking at the longer term sell side on the NASDAQ, if I'm being honest with you guys. I'm looking for the longer term sell side on the NASDAQ, right? Back to this structure all the way. I said generational buys. Y'all get your bread up, my boys. Get the money together because if price comes back down here, we may never see these levels again. This may be the final retest. And this is a gap that would be filled from the last year when Trump issued tariffs and China issued reciprocal tariffs, and the market moved up 12% in a single day. It was right here. You guys want to know something funny? Y'all want to know some real funny business? Y'all want me to put you on some game? If you guys been on my calls, I told you that already. Guess when that happened? It happened in April of last year. The third week of April of last year is when that happened. What if the market crashes in the next 2 weeks? And then by the third week of April, we're right back here. If it happens, remember I said it on this 5th day of April, guys. Y'all think it's a game, yo. We're in wild times right now. You know this would be a 15% correction, 25%. This is where they start to stop the market. This is where they halt the market and they're like, yo, we can't go no lower than this. We're entering recession territory. Everybody starts talking about recession, 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 recession. When you hear your auntie and your uncle who don't trade talking about a recession, put your money in the market. When they start talking about recession, 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 put your money up, bruh. It's time to get positioned. The dollar looks like it is pushing, right? I'm still gonna be patient. I ain't tripping for nothing, right? I ain't tripping for nothing. But that's it for this week, you guys. That is the weekly outlook call. We got a lot of alerts set. There's a lot going on in the market. Guess what's gonna happen? You know what's real? You know what's so funny? They're gonna talk about the crazy news that's gonna happen this week, right? They're gonna talk about, oh, Trump is about to do this, and the market is going to do some madness. It's gonna do some crazy stuff. And you know what we're gonna be doing? 1 second. I ain't even realized how dark it got. You know what we're gonna be doing? We're gonna be sitting just like this. We're gonna be
Just
sitting just
waiting
like
and
this.
waiting for the trade. Patience is key.
Put my hands in my lap. I'm gonna sit on my hands, and then guess what? One of these alerts going ding ding ding. Push that button. I'm gonna take a look. Ooh, we're there. We're gonna push the button, and that's it for the week, you guys. Bing. Patience. No rush. No FOMO. No loss. Let the market come to us. We've identified our areas of importance. Now we wait. You don't get paid to trade, you get paid to wait. Now we wait. Bing, bing, bing. I don't care I mean, I do care what happens. I hope the war stops. I hope there is world peace. I hope the children come home safe to their families. I hope all things are well. However, when it comes to this market, yo, I don't care what happens, bro. I ain't got no bias. I ain't got no bias. We gonna just let it do what it does. But with that being said, you guys, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. He is risen and he gives us the opportunity. We have an opportunity to live the lives that we live today. You know what I'm saying? We can move how we can move how we move. We can groove how we groove. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you guys enjoy the rest of your time today. Remember where we are. There's no fear in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that everything is working together, for my good. There may be difficult times, there may be chaotic news, there may be chaos, there may be war, There may be war and rumors of war, but we knew that already. There may be war and rumors of war. Where have I read that before? Hmm. It is those times, bruh. And we are here and we're ready. And I don't know how long we got. I don't know, I don't know how long, this whole thing is going to keep it moving. But I do know that while we're here, we're going to do our best. We're going to live a good life. We're going to set the foundations for our family, for our children, for the ones of us that do have children, you know what I'm saying? We're going to make sure that we're prepared, that we're not fearful, right? And that we're providing value to those who are seeking the information and the knowledge that we have, you guys. But with that being said, this is the second to last. This is our weekly outlook, but we've got one more week in our boot camp, you guys, and then we'll be taking a week off. I'm going to take a week off, and then we'll have a whole new group coming in, you guys. So we're going to keep it running. Thank you guys all for tapping in with me. Arm, thank you for everything that you do for teaching me today. I'm always a student. I see you, my guy. You are a value to this community. I love seeing your perspective and some of the little tricks of the trade that you have. You blew my mind today with the one indicator that you shared. I didn't
Just set
record
it
it,
up.
so they,
Oh,
they had to be here. You know what I'm saying? You had to be here on the call to
hey,
get that sauce. You got to show up.
we cannot give them everything.
That's it, man. That's it. So, you guys, I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. I'll tap in with you guys soon. You guys take care. Peace.
All right, peace.